Welcome to World War II Solitaire board game channel, and the first time that I look at a print and play game. It's also the first time I look at a game that's called a roll and write game. Basically, I've been avoiding print and play games, although there are tons of World War II Solitaire games which are print and play. And the reason is because I'm still quite new to board gaming. I've only been playing for a few years. And basically, when I think of print and play, I imagine like printing out of a bunch of stuff, printing out board, like cardboard pieces, and cutting them up and stuff like that. It just seems really complicated. But then I found this game, and the only thing you have to print out is about 10 pages, and you don't even have to do it in color, since the actual game which you're gonna play is in black and white. I believe only the front page is in color, so you don't even need a color printer. All you need is a regular printer, and then to play, once you learn the rules, the only thing you need to play is this page right here, a pencil with an eraser, and 5 dice, preferably 4 in one color and 1 in another color. And that's all you need to play. So let's have a look at the game. We have our printed pages here. This is the front page in color I mentioned, and then you'll see here that all the rules are in black and white, and we have some very nice time period photos. So we can see here the rules are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pages long, so 7 pages of rules. So this is a game that's very easy to learn and very easy to play, and I've enjoyed it also quite much, I have to tell you. Another thing with this game is that from where you get it, you get to decide how much you'll pay. There is a recommended price, and I'd tell you that I would pay that recommended price or even give a few more dollars. I think the recommended price was $1.99 US, which is nothing. I'd say that I gladly pay $5 for this to support the designer of the game. And again, it's so cool because all you need are those 5 dice, a pencil, and this page once you have learned the rules. So there are a few things which you can include in the game if you want to have a more immersive experience. For example, you can have a tank mini. I got a Sherman tank from Memoir 44, which I use to remember my position. I also like to use 2 markers to mark up the weather and the kind of terrain I'm at currently. On top of that, you have different enemies. You have foot units, pillboxes, mechanized units, Panzer IVs, and Tiger tanks. And like the nerd I am, I also have minis for those, and that's just for fun, really not needed at all. So I got a bunch of mixed minis from Tide of Iron and Memoir 44. Anyway, I thought we'd look at how this game is actually played, and I'm gonna bring out my also my dice tower here to make things a little bit easier. Alright, so the first thing you would do is move into a new area following the road. So here we can move either north or to the west. So let's say we move to the west. The first thing we're going to do before that is roll for our stats. So we draw a dice for guns, and then we would divide it into 3 and mark that up. So that would be a 3 in guns. And then we have this divided by 3 and rounded up. We would have a 2 in crew, and armor we would also have a 2 in. And then finally in grit we would have that was a 5, so that would be a 3. So then you have your starting stats for your unit, and when you roll for attacking and so on, you're going to reference those numbers. And anyway, so let's say that we want to head west now. And I can actually even mark up these. I don't even remember what they were, but let's say that they are like that. Doesn't matter. So we move west, and first we roll for weather. We roll a 4, so the weather is going to be foggy. And the foggy has -1 in guns. So when I'm firing my primary gun, I'm going to have 1 less dice to fire with. The next, we roll for area, and we roll a 3. So we're going to have that kind of road. And now you'll see my very, very good painting skills. That's beautiful, isn't it? All right, and once we've done that, we want to roll for terrain. So our terrain is going to be 3. That's going to be a forest. And you know, I like to do some trees and stuff, but I don't know if they... I think I should stop because I don't think they look like trees. I forgot... Okay, I forgot how to make trees. You put me on the spot here, guys. I think it's something like that, right? That's a tree. Okay, that's a bunch of trees or big mushrooms or whatever. They're supposed to be trees. So we're now at this location here in the forest, and the weather is foggy. So this is a problem because the forest will give us -1 to our primary gun, and the fog will also give us -1 to our primary gun. So let's hope we don't meet something that we need our primary gun for. And we're gonna see that now because, whoops, now we're gonna go ahead and roll for what enemy we meet. Whoops. And we, I'm gonna re-roll that. Okay, we get a 4, so that's gonna be a German Panzer IV. And now we're gonna roll to see how many. Again, we round up, so we roll a 4. That's gonna be 2 units, so divided by 3 and rounding up. So basically, we roll a D3. So we are meeting 2 Panzer IVs here. And once you do that, you're gonna go ahead and roll to see who will start the combat for the initiative roll. And then you're gonna go and use these items here for starting. I believe it's the grit, so you will see here you have 4 stars. You're gonna get to use 4 dice because of that. And then there is no terrain or weather that decreases my dice, but the German Panzer IV has a -1, and that means I'm going to lose 1 of my dice. So I'm going to roll 3 of my dice for my initiative. I need to roll a 2 or lower as my grit to be able to get the initiative. And I roll a 5, a 6, and a 4. And that's no good, right? So what I need to do now is I need to let the enemy start firing. And the enemy fires upon me, and what I need to do now is grab 4 dice again, because from my armor I have 4 hearts left. I get 4 dice. The weather and the terrain doesn't decrease it, but the panzer decreases by 1. I need to roll a 1 or lower to be able to defend myself. Okay, so I get a lucky roll here, guys. I get a 1, and that means I've successfully defended myself against the attack from these Panzer IVs, and now I get to fire back. So the first part of combat is bombardment, so I now fire back with my guns stats. You see I have 4 hearts here. The 4 hearts are meaning I get 4 dice. These will decrease once you get hit. You will mark these up and lose the hearts. Anyway, I have 4 dice now, and remember we are in the forest, so I lose 1. We're also in fog, so I lose another 1. And then on top of that, I am facing Panzer IVs, so I lose a 3rd one. I'm gonna go ahead now and use my grit. To get the upper hand in combat, you can use grit. I have a grit score of 2. Every time you use the grit, you're gonna go ahead and mark up 1 star. And once you have no more stars, you have no more grit to use. So that means I'm going to get to use my grit dice. My guns, I'm going to the bombardment step now, are firing at 3 or lower. My grit is on 2 or lower. If you hit with grit, you also get 2 hits instead of 1. Alright, let's see how I do. Okay, I managed to hit with my with my normal cannon, but not with my grit cannon. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use the shells, marking that up to fire yet again, and I get to reroll any and all of the dice. So of course I decide to save that one because that is a hit, and I'm gonna reroll my grit dice. And I managed to roll a 1, so that's quite good because then I get actually 3 hits from these, so these Panzer IVs are done. So the Panzer IVs are done, and I will mark up here the kills. 2 kills. For every 9th kill you get a medal, and for every medal you get a victory point. Okay, so that's it for combat this turn, and that means I've successfully managed to clear this stage. So the thing I would do next is I would go to the left, or I would go up, or I could even backtrack over here and then go up. And I would keep doing that until either I lost all of my hearts, I lost all of my, and that means I'm destroyed, or I lost all of my ammunition, shells and ammo, and I have to surrender during the next combat phase, or I managed to discover every part of this map. And then once I've done that, I'll get a victory point for every area I secured. If I manage to secure a town, which is a area of 5 or 6, I get 2 victory points unless they're destroyed, because that gives me 0. I also get 1 victory point for each medal I manage to get, and each medal is 9 kills. I also get a victory point if I manage to get my tank destroyed, because that will give me a purple heart, and that means losing all the hearts. And then based on my final victory points, there is a reference sheet here to tell you your victory level. I'm enjoying this game very much. I think more than I should, because again, it's just a pencil and a paper, but it's so much fun. And I'm gonna do a proper playthrough video of this game. I just wanted to give you kind of a preview, review. A great game, you should get it. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Also, like, obviously it's a good game if you are traveling and stuff like that, and I love that because, you know, with my job I travel a lot, and I also like to go hiking on my free time. So I'm gonna see a lot of this game and looking forward to doing a proper playthrough. So stay tuned and please subscribe, and thank you to the designer of this game for answering some of my questions. Alright, have a good one.